Tax Deed Investing 101, the down and dirty on the only real estate investment model where you can buy property literally for as little as 50 bucks. We're talking property for as little as 50 bucks, free and clear. Now, I know it sounds too good to be true. Let me explain how this process works. Now, you as a beginner probably want to use tax liens and deeds to get out of that 9-to-5 job or to create that legacy wealth for you and your family. So we need to get the differences between tax liens and tax deeds clarified and straight. That's one of the first simple fundamental truths, okay? This channel is for beginners wanting to transition into this business and to be able to do it. So when you're starting, you need to know exactly what the difference is between a lien and a deed. So remember, half of the states are tax deed states. Half of the states are tax lien states. In a tax deed state, you own the property free and clear, and the opening bid is always going to be the back taxes owed on that property. Okay, so that's what I love about tax deeds. So you hear about people buying properties for dirt cheap prices. That's because when they went to the tax deed sale, nobody was there to bid against them. So for example, I bought a funeral home and a limousine business for $6,100 and it pays me $1,000 per month in rent. And this thing's worth like 75 grand, 90% below market value, mortgage free. I've bought lots for as little as 50 bucks. This is the power of tax deed investing. Now remember the difference. In a tax lien state, you do not buy the property, okay? We're just gonna leave tax liens out of this today. That's in a different video. I have a video called The Pros and Cons of Tax Lien Investing. Right now we're talking about tax deeds. So if you are interested in this business, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell, because I'm gonna be releasing lots of videos. I go live every day to help people, and I give you a free toolkit that's below to get started. Free book, literally Tax Deed Investing and Lien Investing 101. We're here to help the community and help you use this business. So now, what is a tax deed? The premise of it. So a deed is a legal document that grants and proves ownership of the property. It's that piece of paper that's recorded at the county, and basically this shows that there is the owner, right? So anytime you buy a property, the deed is what is recorded, all right? It's the government's, paperwork and documents that prove that ownership. That's why whenever you buy a property, you get the deed to it, okay? So let's get clear on that, what that is, all right? Now, if you want to go and do this, first thing you need to do is figure out, do I live in a tax lien or a tax deed state, all right? So maybe you're watching this and you live in a tax lien state. So that means there's no deeds available in your state. A tax lien auction will happen. Tax liens are cool because you can get interest rates of 18 to 36% interest on that tax lien certificate. Now, this is one of the oldest investments in America. It's been around for over 200 years. And the reason the county auctions off the property is because there's a deal, basically going back to the beginning of time when kings were taxing the people. It's like, you think you own your property? Well, try to not pay taxes on that thing for 5 years and see what happens. You're gonna end up losing that thing at the tax deed auction, all right? Now, all being said, governments are decently fair and they'll let the homeowner go 3 to 4 to 5 years and basically not pay those taxes. However, comes time to pay the piper, and that's when you can come in and buy these properties dirt cheap at these sales. So if you're living in a tax lien state, go ahead and see what tax deed states are within like a couple hours drive from where you are. And then this way you'll be able to go and start scooping up some of these tax deed sales. Now, there are some deed states like California, New York, and Georgia where they're a deed state with a redemption period. So for example, in Texas, there's a 6-month redemption. So you buy the property, you actually have the deed, but you can't sell it for 6 months. The homeowner has 6 months to come and redeem, and if they do redeem, you get an interest rate of 25%. Now, there's really only a couple states like that you need to worry about in that regard. Georgia is a 1-year redemption. California is also a 1-year redemption, but you can expedite the process and do a quiet title and get a marketable title within 90 days on those places. However, most deed states, there is no redemption period. You buy it that day, you could go and sell it that night. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're buying a tax deed is the fact that you're not going to have what's called a guarantee deed. All right, you're going to have to get a guarantee deed after you buy the property. Now, this is a bit of a contradiction because I said you could sell it right after, and you can. But if you're going to sell it to somebody who wants to put a mortgage on it, you're going to need to clear the title properly. And sometimes this can cost, $1,000 to $2,000 if you use a company like Tax Title Services to go ahead and do it. All right. However, if you want to just go ahead and quickly flip that property to an investor, for example, I was at a tax deed sale in Troy, New York, and basically this guy bought a tax deed. And from there was another guy who also wanted it, but he came to the auction late and he didn't get the property. So what this guy did who bought it, he just flipped it right to the other guy, signed it over to him for $5,000 cash on the spot. So there's all sorts of cool things like this that happen. Now, it is true, sometimes you'll go to a tax deed sale and things might get bid up to market value. All right, no big deal. Find another auction. Remember, in this business, it's not a matter of if you'll get these properties, just a matter of when. The key is if you want to make this stuff work, you need to be consistent, all right? You need to be consistent, you need to show up. Maybe you'll go to 3 or 4 or 5 tax deed auctions and not get anything. In fact, what I recommend, don't put pressure on yourself for the first 2 to 3 auctions. Just go, just look. For whatever reason in this business of real estate, people watch this YouTube video, they go to an auction, things get bid up, and like, oh, this business doesn't work. I went to an auction, there's too much competition these days, it doesn't work. And you haven't even put in like a fraction of the effort. Like if you put in an hour a day, 5 days a week, you'll be able to get these wicked deals over the course of a year. However, if you go to your first auction and you don't get a property, so what? Don't cry about it. Think about everything you've ever gotten good at in your life. You practice, you don't just read a book on how to race a car, drive a car, and then go out into friggin' rush hour traffic, right? You read it and you practice. So keep that in mind with real estate. Like, I'm here to help you on that journey, but I also want you to be realistic about expectations. You might be able to watch this video and get some over-the-counter deeds, all right? So an over-the-counter deed is a deed that does not sell at the tax deed auction. And these over-the-counter deeds are amazing because you can go in right now and you can buy the over-the-counter deed without having to bid against anybody. Like, I've bought lots for as little as $50 with these over-the-counter deeds. It's a great way for you to buy cheap land. And this business in general is just a great entrance into real estate in an alternative way to be able to create that legacy wealth for yourself and your family. You just need to stick with it. And when you're doing an over-the-counter deed, you simply call the county, ask them what happens to any properties that didn't sell at the tax deed sale. Then you ask them, how do I get that list of those properties? From there, start researching, go look at them, buy them, flip them, rent them out, build a house on them. What I can tell you is this is one of the best investment tools for getting property that's sometimes as much as 90% below market value. So I know it sounds crazy and I know it sounds too good to be true, but they're out there. I do it. I've done it. Done this for years, starting like 20 years ago. So now it's your turn to do it. It's your turn to get started and take some action. You can go research your county right now. This book will help you get started. I used to sell this thing. It's one of the best-selling books on tax liens and deeds. 60,000 copies sold. We have all of the sheets for marking things down. These are my notes that I used to take, like the property evaluation form here. You want the parcel number, the address, the parcel ID, property size, type of property, and then you fill this out, You want to put your minimum bid. You want to put your property goals. You'll put who will buy it because you want to have that exit plan. The condition of the neighborhood, the market going up and down, the as is value, how's the interior, the exterior. So these are all things to take into consideration. Buying your tax deeds. From there, if you want some help doing this, go ahead, and you can book a call with us, and we'll save you 3 to 5 years of trial and error. We'll save you from making mistakes, and we'll build you a custom blueprint for this business. At the end of the call, we'll chat about what it looks like to work together, if it's a fit. If not, no big deal. My goal is to provide our small group of real estate tax lien and deed investors to build a community where everybody's supporting each other and doing this sort of stuff. And that's that. So thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, check it out. See you in the next video.